Hello, my YouTube family. This is Dr. Lee again with another one of my videos, and this time I'm going to be going over hand washing according to Pearson VUE, who has changed their name now to Credentia. So Pearson VUE / Credentia, and one of the guidelines in their handbook is hand washing. So I will demonstrate this skill. We will be talking to our patient, Miss Mary. You always want to make sure that you knock on the door, let the patient know that you're coming in, and then start your skill. So I'm going to step out, knock on the door. I'll turn the camera toward the patient, and then we'll begin. Good morning, Miss Mary. How are you doing? My name is Dr. Lee. I'm going to turn the camera so that they can see you over here. My name is Dr. Lee, and I'm here to do some skills on you. But first, I'm going to wash my hands, and I will be right back. I'm going to turn the camera back over toward the sink here so that you can see what I'm doing. So with Pearson VUE Credentia, there are 10 steps to the hand washing technique. So step number 1 is that you want to turn the water on, and you will be washing your hands and your wrists. Make sure you do not go up to the elbow, just the hands and the wrists. If you leave your jewelry on, that is fine. You don't have to take your jewelry off. So I'm going to turn the water on with my bare hands because I will be washing my hands. You need to make sure you hold your hands down so that the water runs down, the dirt runs down over the sink, and you do not want to touch the inside of the sink, okay? So I'm going to wet my hands, holding them down, hand and wrist. Now that my hands are wet, I will get the soap, and you want to get enough soap so that you can lather. Lather means that I see suds. So I have my soap here. I'm going to pump about 2 or 3 times, get enough soap, and now I'm going to start rubbing my hands, making sure my fingers are pointing down, and I want to rub for approximately 20 seconds. There's a clock behind me, so right now when I look, the second hand was on the 11, so my 20 seconds, if I'm using the clock behind me, would be up when the second hand is on a 3. And it is almost on the 3. Now, the good thing with Pearson VUE Credentia is that you can go over the 20 seconds. So I would encourage you, go over the 20 seconds. Make sure you get between the webs of your fingers. You want to get under the fingernails, so you can take the palm, one hand hold it out, get your fingernails, scrape over on the palm, and then do it again to the opposite palm. You want to make sure you get under each nail bed, and you can take your fingernail and go under each nail bed, okay? 2, I'm going to do the middle finger, the ring finger, and now the baby finger. And if you watching, I'm leaving the water running the whole time. Now I'm going to go under the nail beds of the opposite hand. So under my thumb, and I'm just using my nail bed of the opposite hand to get under this nail bed on that thumb. My index finger, my middle finger, going under the nail bed, my ring finger, and now my baby finger. Once I've gone under each nail bed, I'm ready to rinse the soap off. I want to rinse the soap off with my hand pointed down, and again, do not touch the inside of the sink. So I can just run it over, do the other hand. Now some people like to rub their hands under the water. That's fine too, to get all of the soap off. Make sure you look, turn your hand to make sure all of the soap is off. Leave your hand pointed down. If you have a whole lot of water, you can kind of tap it to get the excess water off. Now, leaving the water running, I want to get a paper towel And I like to get 2 or 3. I'm going to start with my fingers, drying my fingers first. Okay, that's very important. Dry your fingers first. Dry the fingers on the opposite hand. Dry my fingers first. Now that my fingers are dry, I'm going to get another paper towel, and now I'm going to dry the rest of my hand. Okay? Now that my hand is all dry, I still don't want to touch anything, but I need to turn the water off. So I'm going to get a clean paper towel, one for each handle, and I'm going to turn the water off. These go into the trash. At this point, I can look at the evaluator and say, I am through with my skill. Now, I want to point out some critical points from Pearson VUE Credentia for this particular skill. So, this is skill number 1 in their candidate handbook. It tells you, step 1, address the client by name and introduce yourself to the client. So when we came in, we knocked on the door, we went over and we introduced ourselves to the client and addressed the client by name. Number 2 says to turn the water on, wet your hands, and apply the soap. This is very important that you do it in that order. Turn the water on first, then wet your hands, then get your soap. There are some students who like to get the soap first and then turn the water on. That's not good. When you do that, you end up, once you get the soap and then you put it under the water, you rinse the soap away, and it will be hard for you to lather. So follow the steps that Pearson VUE has put in the book. Turn the water on first, wet your hands, then get the soap. And if we look at step 5, it is bolded. Anytime we have a bolded step with Pearson VUE or Credentia, it means that you must do it in order to pass this particular skill. So number 5 is bolded, and it says to lather all surfaces of the wrist, hand, and fingers. Not only do we lather it, but you have to produce friction for approximately 20 seconds. And that's why it's good to have a clock by, or you can have a watch to know when your 20 seconds is up. You can go over the 20 seconds, you won't be penalized, but do not go under the 20 seconds. And you need to keep your hands lower than the elbows and the fingertips pointing down. After the 20 seconds with step number 6, that's when you clean the fingernails against the palm of the opposite hand. That means scratch, 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 scratch. Clean the fingernails on the palm of the opposite hand. Scratch, 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 scratch. This comes after the 20 seconds. Do not include that in the 20 seconds. That is a costly mistake, all right? Then number 7 says to rinse all surfaces of the wrist, hand, and fingers, making sure that you keep the hands lower than the elbows and the fingertips down. Number 7 is also bolded. So in this particular step with hand washing, there are 2 things you must do in order to pass this skill. Lather and wash the hand and the wrist, producing friction for at least 20 seconds. And when you are rinsing, you cannot hold the hand up. You must hold the hand down. So some people are probably saying, why can't I hold the hand up? Because the water and the germs roll down. And I want it to go into the sink, to roll into the sink so that it can be washed away. This is why this is a critical step. Prevents the spread of infection. 8, use a clean dry paper towel to dry all surfaces of the fingers, hand, and wrist. Now, there's a key word in here, starting at the fingertips. So if you notice, when I started drying my hands, I said I am starting to dry all of my fingers first. Once they were dry, then I dried the rest of my hands. That's something that the evaluator will be looking for to see if you did that or not. Okay, so those are the critical points that I wanted to point out about this. You always use a clean, dry paper towel to turn off the faucet. And once you're through with the hand washing skill, you would turn to the evaluator and say, I am through with that skill. So once again, this is Dr. Vanessa Lee with another one of my videos. This time it is the Pearson VUE Credentia method for the hand hygiene. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. That helps me to be able to produce more videos for you all on YouTube so that I can help you get the information that you need to pass your skills and become a successful healthcare worker. With that, I will see you in the next video. So long.